court this week for a status hearing. His attorney still working to appeal a judge's ruling denying Diddy bail. Denied it twice last week. The Bad Boy Records founder is being held by himself in a Brooklyn detention center, accused of running an enterprise of sex trafficking and forced labor. During a March raid, we all remember this, authorities discovered drugs, AR-15s, and an excessive amount of baby oil and lubricant inside of his home, 1,000 bottles of it. Former inmate and director and founder of Wall Street Prison Consultants, Larry Levine, joins me now. Larry, welcome to the show. Thanks for being with me.
Glad to be with you.
So this jail's conditions, have been described as dirty, notorious for mice, maggots, inmate violence, power outages. You spent 10 years in 11 different facilities, so you know what life is like for him right now. Take us behind the scenes.
I was also at MDC Los Angeles. It's like a cookie cutter of the MDC in New York. So yeah, I do know. But he's sitting in the shoe. He's in the hole. And this guy is going through loneliness, anxiety, desperation. He's on suicide watch. And they hand out like psych meds, like they're M&Ms to these inmates to try to get them to cope with what's going on. So his entire existence is to sit in this little cell, essentially. He can shower 3 times a week. He's not getting any real visits. If his lawyer does a legal visit, they have.
Can you imagine being in after living the high life, private jets, exclusivity, private villas, just the most opulent life ever. And you go from that to only being able to shower 3 times a week.
To come upstairs into the special housing unit to see him. Now, have you seen these reports about all these commissary items they say that he could buy? Any of those?
What was one of them? Steak or something?
Ribeye, steak,
yeah.
All kinds of nonsense. He's in the shoe, people. He's in a special housing unit. He cannot buy things off the regular commissary list.
So this is rocking his world right now.
He can buy a radio.
Yeah, this is rocking his world right now. What about treatment from other inmates, Larry? I'm curious in that too, because we know that they don't take kindly to those who are accused of hurting women or children. They're not minors that we know of. But if he makes it to general population, how's he treated?
Look. If he makes it to GP, general population, someone's going to stick a knife in him. They're going to put some bars of soap in a sock and boom, they're going to pop him over the head and split his head open like a watermelon. They cannot GP him at all.
Man, to be harmed by soap in a sock, to go from having bodyguards to being harmed from soap in a sock. And I would like to just for the penitentiary, could you guys just use liquid soaps? They need to probably get hard bars of soap out of the prison system at this point.
There's a better chance of Jesus appearing in front of us right now than him making general population. He's safe where he is at. There's no reason to move him. And this nonsense about him getting bail, they're never going to give him bail. He wants to go to Essex County, New Jersey, to go to a cushy jail there. Remember, he's not a federal inmate. He's a U.S. Marshal detainee. So they just house him at MDC. And in order to send him to Jersey, they would have to transport him back and forth several times a week with like 6 marshals. They put him in one car, and there'd be a car behind him and a car in front of him. They're not going to do that. So his life essentially at this point is just screwed. And I don't see him ever getting out. And remember, he's fighting his case, right?
Yeah, so what does it look like if he's convicted, Larry?
Well, it's going to take 3 or 4 years to fight his case. And then they're going to put him in a medium security institution. He's never going to go into a minimum security camp. He's going to be living in a cell, and he's going to be living in an isolated area. Now, maybe he'll associate with some other people that have similar crimes to what he has, but he's never going to be in GP. He's never going to have regular visits. He's going to have visits through the telephone, you know, no contact visits for him.
When you were an inmate, Larry, if a celebrity was brought in, say status like his, I don't know if that ever happened for you. What were your thoughts about them being in the cell down the way?
I thought that, wow, look what they've gone from, having millions, billions of dollars. Now all of a sudden, they're living out of a 2-foot by 3-foot locker. I mean, I saw people that claimed they had a lot of money, were celebrities that were shining people's shoes, ironing people's clothes just to earn commissary money. And a lot of these people, they feel like they're...
Could you imagine going from that high life to now you have to shine somebody's shoes and fold their clothes for commissary? Could you imagine? It'd be no surprise it would be no surprise to me if he doesn't take himself out. It would be no surprise.
They're privileged. And when a correctional officer throws a mop at them and tells them to mop the floor, gives them a broom and tells them to sweep out the compound, it's very demeaning to them.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Good.
Did you hear that? Like the CO, what Puff used to have, like the CO's, not just his life savings, but probably 30 years. Everything the CO would make in a lifetime, Puff used to have that on his neck, on his wrist. Now you got a CO throwing the mop at you, saying, "Mop, clean your damn room." Oh my gosh, this is horrific. I don't know what to say, man. I just don't know what to say. Call me.